Hello common people, this Friday's entertainment is brought to you by Common Guy Reviews and I am your lovely host, Pepsi. After 6 long months, I finally got to see Godzilla -1. It was a real bummer that I wasn't able to see it in theaters because my local theater decided that it ain't going to air it, for some unknown reason. Even if it had aired all the previous Godzilla movies, but now it's done. And now I am late to the after party, but whatever. I am going to spoil the scales out of this movie, so if you by any chance are in the same boat as me and haven't watched this yet, go and watch it. I'll wait you right here. Then we can compare our superior opinions to our fullest. Godzilla -1 is a 2020 Japanese epic kaiju film written, directed and with visual effects by Takashi Yamazaki. It is produced by Toho Studios, the same guys who produced Shin Godzilla, and co-produced by Robot Communications. This is Toho's 33rd film in Godzilla franchise. In total, this is 37th film about Godzilla. In this movie we follow a Japanese soldier Koichi Shikishima, who is a kamikaze pilot. He lands his plane on an Odo island, where they repair those planes, so they can carry their mission to the end. But Shikishima's plane is fine. He came to this island to buy time, because he didn't want to blow up with his plane. One of the reasons is a survival instinct, but the other is that his parents told him to come back alive. Before anything can happen, they encounter a strange huge beast, a dinosaur-like monstrosity that the locals call Godzilla. There, Koichi needs to shoot it with the guns on his plane, but freezes, resulting almost everyone dying, but him and a lone mechanic. He goes back to his home place to look for his parents, and discovers a young woman with a child that was orphaned during an air raid that took many people, including Koichi's parents. We then follow his life a bit forward, as Godzilla reappears, now 10 times bigger and meaner, because USA tested some nukes and fed him some great stuff. Koichi joins a small group of guys who find sea mines and explode them, as the government stuff pays well because it is so dangerous. He tries to earn money to keep himself and Noriko Oishi, the woman who was with the baby Akiko, safe and sound. Honestly, this movie was pretty good. Godzilla was menacing and huge, and his model was just top tier. Amazing work. It was really nice to see how after Godzilla grew up, he turned into his old model. Huge legs, pear-shaped torso, and the iconic face and voice we all know and love. This time, movie was in the end of the World War II, which was a neat exception, because usually we are in the modern times at some point. Japan was starting to recover from the war, but Godzilla said nay and showed them what for. Our protagonist with a severe PTSD is now part of the group that tries to think how this menace could be neutralized. Japanese government did what they do best. They hid all the information about the Godzilla and refused to do anything about it. So after that, Koichi is called to the civilian movement, who try to deal with this monster because government won't. They come up with a plan to sink Godzilla and hope that the pressure would kill him. They mean to use some kind of gas that when released could rapidly sink anything. Godzilla's terror over the land was delicious, and of course the thing that we all know about him, the atomic breath / heat ray. This time it was again changed to a bit different. And now I have a rival to my favorite one, which was from the Shin Godzilla. This time he charges his laser from his tail up to his back. Every pointy scale pop up in a piston-like fashion, whilst turning electric blue. His breath is now a mini nuke that shoots out like a massive cannon, giving even some anime stuff run for its money. Every time something exploded I thought that it would have been so nice to see this in the theaters, because my butt would have clenched so hard. And Noriko, who Koichi was living with, presumably dies in the blast, showing our hero to the safety, leaving him with an immense amount of survivors killed. And when the opportunity rises, he is ready to give even his own life for it. Koichi gets hold of the soul mechanic Tachibana that survived from the Odo Island massacre. He is hesitant, but eventually agrees to fix a new fighter jet for Koichi, who is determined that if the plans fail, he will fly inside of the Godzilla's mouth and explode in there with the plane. But because this jet is new, it has an ejecting seat, which can save him. As we would guess, all plans fail, and as soon as Godzilla is firing up his beam, Koichi flies inside of his mouth, ejecting himself out first, and the lizard's head goes boof. Godzilla crumbles and sinks into the ocean, and the movie gets a happy ending when they find out that the Noriko survived the blast, injured heavily but alive. I would say that this is a pretty solid Godzilla film. CGI was fine, but at couple parts you could see how something was not real. Like Godzilla was smashing up the city of Ginza, there was a tank to protect it, but they looked a bit clunky. But overall, excellent job. Human stuff was there, as always. I like big monsters in a big monster movies, but we always have to have some humans in it to bring up how horrifying everything is and stuff. But this was my review about Godzilla -1. Pretty solid kaiju movie. You really should give it a look by yourself if you decided not to care about the spoilers. Well, spoilers are not that major in this instance because we all know how usual Godzilla movies go, so yeah. This was a Common Guy Reviews and I am your lovely host Pepse and I'll see you in the next review. Goodbye!